turn off your phones. Talking to myself, obviously.
That's hilarious.
But welcome all you people out there in iTunes world and everywhere else that you're listening to us. You're listening to Epic Thoughts. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm your host, Ramon. With me always is Carla. What up, Carla Finlayson? And
What's
with
up?
us always is IV, the OGICIV.
What it do, baby?
Yeah, man. We are back at the studio for another awesome episode of Epic Thoughts. This is the podcast. And first of all, I just want to share with y'all. First of all, this is cool. We're doing a pop-up, so nobody knew we were coming. So we need to do this more often.
Yeah. I'm about to share this. That's all. So go ahead. Keep on
I'm sharing
listening.
it too. So we need to do this more often. We need to do more Epic Thoughts and let y'all know. But if you're watching us live, we're also live on Facebook. But thank you for listening. We got an interesting show. We have an interesting conversation that we want to get into right now. And we're going to go right into it. We had a interesting week for one of, I guess you could say, polarizing artist of our time. Is that fair to say? Polarizing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the most polarizing personalities of our day to day, the one and only Kanye West.
Yeezy.
Too bad we don't have...
I know. We don't have no sound.
Or look, for some people it's a clap. For some people it may be a boo.
It may be
I
a
don't know.
boo.
I don't know.
Yeah. We don't know where you land on the Kanye West train, on the popularity. Some people love him. Some people hate him. Some people despise him.
Some people hate to love them.
Some people hate to love him. It's very polarizing, like we say. There's nothing else we can say about it. However, in the last couple of years, he has gone through a transition. And I say in the last couple of years because it's been a while. This dude's gone through some stuff. I don't know if his whole career is a transition because he's been constantly changing, but he's always constantly making waves. He's also constantly on the news somehow. He's constantly always something to be trending and talked about. But this week has been more so than normal.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, let's backtrack and kind of talk about what he's gone through. One, he has, I don't know where to start. Or where you want to start?
I was going to start. We've talked about it on this show when he went crazy on TMZ and
That's where I
said
was gonna start.
slavery was a choice.
That's why I was going to start there. That's where I was going to start.
Yeah,
TMZ.
you should start there.
All right, so that's where we're going to start. We're going to start from TMZ. TMZ, he went on TMZ and pretty much had a meltdown, to say the least.
Yeah.
In some people's eyes, he had a meltdown. He talked about slavery as a choice. He started talking about how he was overweight. He was on opioids and all these other things. He just lost it on TMZ, right?
Yeah.
You can YouTube it. You can look it up if you want to. And then after that, he started doing Sunday services. Not too long after that, he started doing Sunday services. That has changed, and now this Sunday service that he started is nothing short of a church at this point.
No, they have a pastor now.
They do have a pastor
They have
now.
a pastor now.
Yeah, they have a pastor now. So now it's a church.
So it's a for real Sunday service.
It's a for real Sunday service.
Well, what made it not a for real Sunday service?
Because it was just singing.
Yeah, but if we're talking about a church, isn't a church a gathering of people worshiping God?
A church is a community of people.
A gathering. Same thing.
Right. But see, he was putting more focus on the event of the Sunday service. In retrospect, I don't even know if retrospect is the right word, but a church is a community of people going through life together.
I think when he first started it, he was doing it more as entertainment.
Yeah.
And it grew into something more spiritually for him.
Yeah. I even think that he was probably reaching for something more spiritual for himself. That he was trying to be spiritual and didn't have pretty much a guide to where it's turned into now. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember some video footage of the first weeks of their Sunday service. They were singing like Chandelier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, he does address those things in
He
some
does.
of the interviews
He
that
does.
he's done. Yeah.
So that brings us all to this week.
Yeah.
The thing has started to change. He was going on the road. He took the Sunday service on the road, and it turned into anything short of a revival.
Yeah.
Right.
It turned into a revival. And here we are in October 2019, and he has released a new album. The album's called Jesus is King, available on all streaming platforms.
Okay.
I'll just put it out
You
there.
need to put a plug.
Well, I did because
Okay.
I thought, because Pablo was just on Tidal for a while.
True.
So and I thought it was going to be the same, but no, this is everyone can get to it. And then with the album, he has done several interviews. He's done one on Apple Music, and then he did one with 92.3 with Big Boy's
Boy.
Neighborhood.
I even think he did one with the Breakfast Club. I just haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, I haven't
which
seen
I'm very curious to see because,
The Breakfast Club go hard on people.
Yeah, they do.
yeah.
And that's neither here nor there, but they go hard on people.
Yeah.
And they're kind of 1/3 of them is ignorant.
1/3?
Yeah, 1/3.
Just
of
1/3?
them. I don't think 2 of the 3 are ignorant as much. They like to be
Really?
funny, but they're not as ignorant. They're pretty open to
You
conversation.
talking about Charlemagne?
Charlamagne's not the ignorant one to me.
DJ Envy? Or Angela Yee?
No. Envy.
DJ Envy.
He a little ignorant.
Oh, that's
Isn't
interesting.
Gucci gonna slap him? That's what I heard. But
Oh,
back on
Lord.
subject.
We're getting back
Back on
on
subject.
subject.
Back on subject.
Right, we come back to that later.
Gucci.
So we're talking about Kanye
We're
West
talking
right
about Kanye
now.
West right now and his wonderful conversion. I don't know if you would think it's wonderful. I think it's good. I watched the video. I watched the Big Boy interview.
Uh-huh.
I watched the Big Boy interview.
Same.
Okay. Now, I thought the Big Boy interview was interesting. Let's talk about the interviews first. Then we'll talk about the album.
Well-
then we'll talk about the whole conversion as a whole.
Well, I kind of want to talk about my journey with how I feel about him.
Okay, go there.
Because in the beginning, I was watching Sunday service and I was like, okay, I would see it here and there. I would see it. I don't know if it's Kanye's run Instagram, but there is an Instagram of the Sunday service.
And we both follow it, yeah.
Yeah, we both follow it. And I would just see little snippets on there. And most of the stuff that I would see in the media would just be snippets of like the music. But on the Instagram, I would get a chance to listen to what Kanye would actually say.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when I started to listen to what Kanye was saying, it was like, okay, everything he's talking about is about Christ.
Yes.
We're not talking about God at this point.
No, he makes it perfectly clear too.
He makes it blatantly clear that he's talking about Jesus Christ.
Now, even with that being said, at the very stages, it was a very universal theology. In the very beginning stages, if anyone did talk,
Right.
it was a universal.
Well, it's surfacey.
It was surfacey, it was universal, and it was spiritual without being gospel.
Right.
Okay.
That's where it was.
Yeah.
Because he was taking secular songs and just adding key phrases
To make it
to
spiritual.
make it more spiritual. But deep down inside, when he was doing the pony rendition, all I heard was the pony.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't hear that.
He
way.
did. It was hot too. Listen, Kanye West's choir is hot.
Yeah.
Let's start off there.
Let's
They
start
are hot.
there.
Why is it that we can't get something like that?
I don't know.
Why? Because this choir is all hot.
I need to look up the
but
pony,
but
though.
that choir was an established choir.
It was?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought he put them together in Calabasas.
Well, you might be right.
but his choir is on point.
But even with the stuff he was saying, I was like vigilant about it.
Oh, let me take that back. It wasn't Pony. It was that 9 o'clock Home Alone. That's the one that they did.
You have the worst babysitter in all of history. And you got 2 of them.
This reminds me of that one guy who was doing the conference
Yeah,
at his
and
job.
his
His
wife-
kids just came up
And
in
then
there.
his wife or nanny had to crawl in there.
Hi, baby.
We have a special guest.
This is what happens when we're
This is
live.
this is half his life.
Yeah.
You have the worst babysitters in the world. Anyways, so back to, is it special time?
It's special time, but his sister knows how to change it, so we're gonna call her in here so you
Okay.
can change the diaper.
We can't stop the live, so we gotta keep going.
Hey.
And we're losing viewers. I can watch the numbers go down right now. So back to Kanye. So I'm with you. I was vigilant.
Yeah.
I wasn't quick to pass judgment like some other cats are. People are so quick to pass judgment on this guy.
Son.
It's sad. But yeah, I watched, because even with the average person, the average Christian, when they get saved, they don't necessarily get it right the first time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well, I was like, is this gonna be an R. Kelly Mace situation? You know what I mean? Like,
okay, those are 2 different situations, right?
but essentially it's the same.
Okay, how?
Because my fear, and even now my fear, people in the Christian community at the time were so excited that R. Kelly quote unquote, made a gospel song that Mace was becoming a Christian. And look at them now. You know what I mean? Look at them now.
Where they're on two. I don't know what Mace is doing.
Mace
but-
was a pastor, came
Right.
all the time and
But
back to rap.
But is Mace is Mace going to jail for messing with little girls?
No, I don't think that's where she was going.
Oh, okay.
What is going to be the sustainability of him? Is he going to strictly do Christian music? Is he going to go back to what he was doing before? You know what I'm saying? And is he going to start proclaiming he's a god again?
Yeah.
I think that's where she's going with it.
Okay.
What?
I was talking about the sustainability
ghetto.
of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is he strictly is he for real?
Yeah.
Or is he gonna be another fly by night secular
Exactly.
artist
Right.
who came into the Christian space, did a turn up song real quick,
Right.
turn up for Jesus real quick, then go back to what you were doing before?
Now, on that note, we could talk about the interviews then.
Yeah, because
Sure.
His interviews showed like this is where he's going to stay.
Well-
I got something that I was thinking,
Okay, go ahead.
and I don't know. This is for the live. This is just a quick thought, you
Okay.
know. But what if God's using him like he did Saul?
He is a modern day Saul.
Modern day
Paul.
Saul to Paul. What was Saul doing?
I thought you meant like King
No,
Saul.
not King Saul.
I was like, he gonna
Saul
kill him
to
in battle?
Paul.
Okay, Saul.
What,
to Paul.
what was Saul doing?
Saul was eliminating Christians.
Killing them off.
Right.
And then the same person was killing them off
Was the one that got saved.
went to get saved. So how many Christians criticized him? Like, you was just killing us yesterday.
Yeah, that's a
You
good
stoned the homie.
Yeah.
You stoned the homie.
Like, for real.
He was preaching Jesus and you killed him.
for real.
And now
like,
you preaching Jesus.
but how many more people that Saul was with was he able to turn to the gospel?
So many.
Think about what Kanye is. All those people that are coming to the Sunday service, they're now getting, I'm not going to say a true rendition of the gospel because I don't know what he's doing, but they're getting somewhat introduced to God.
A seed is being planted.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, he in the interview that he did with Big Boy, he said when he first started, he didn't know what he was doing. He said they looked like a cult because they're all wearing hoodies. And then he said his father told him,
You need somebody.
"You
to
need
speak.
somebody to preach. You need the word." And he was like, "Well, what's that?" And it was funny on the interview. He said, "I actually had to Google what that meant." So he Googled what it meant, and then he was like, "I don't know if I want somebody to preach." And he was like, "You need to."
Yeah.
And so now there's somebody who preaches, and we want to point this out to everyone who's just responsive to the facts and not listening and paying attention to anything. Kanye isn't the one preaching.
Right.
He's exhorting. So what you see on Instagram is him exhortation.
He's the praise and worship leader.
He's basically the praise and
for the
worship-
last,
He's like a Kirk Franklin who can rap.
Yeah, he's a
Pretty
Kirk
much.
Franklin who can rap.
because I've
and
heard
who
him
can
sing
sing.
and I'm like, oh Jesus.
Okay.
I'm like,
Who's a
okay.
better
I don't
singer,
know if he
Kirk
can
Franklin
sing.
or Kanye?
Has Kirk Franklin ever sing? He just talks.
Because he can't sing.
Kanye can carry a tune, but it's not the best.
He can
Auto-tune.
carry auto-tune.
Auto-tune. Anybody can sing with that.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Neither here nor there. But yeah, so now there's somebody there on Sunday service who preaches, and they preach Jesus. I will let me piggyback your statement, Ivy, by saying that I preached this at the church last week. That he epitomizes what Jesus said when he says, "If you don't want to do this right, if you don't want to worship me, then the rocks will go up."
Yep.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know who said something like that? Donnie McClurkin.
Wow.
What he was saying was, if my people don't praise me right, I'll have the rocks sing. And the rocks aren't necessarily rocks.
Inanimate objects.
Inanimate objects. There's people whose hearts are turned to stone.
Yeah.
And they're so far from God that he'll turn those people and have them cry out.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're seeing here. I'm not saying Yeezy was a rock. I'm just saying,
Well, it was.
Well,
yeah, he was
Essentially,
calling
it
himself
was.
God.
he was.
But on the flip side, there's also a lot of scriptures where it says, people will come and disguise themselves
Yeah.
as worshiping me, but the hearts have never turned. You could look like a Christian, quote unquote, because honestly, I don't even like that term Christian because now it's become taboo. Now it's become, if you call yourself a Christian, you believe certain things and this is how you believe. You're judgmental. You support Trump or whatever. You love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what people think of Christians, but that's what I hear.
So what would you want to say? Follower of Jesus Christ? Follower of the Most High.
Whatever. Sure.
Follower,
I would prefer that.
Yahushua.
I would
Yahushua.
I would prefer that, but
He used that term in the
Follower of the Way.
he's all those things.
now, yeah, and so
So you know, there's a lot. This is what I'm going to say. What he's saying, because it took me to listen to his interview and it took me to listen to his album to be like, okay, I see your heart and I hear what you're saying, and in a lot of ways I can relate. Because even though I've been a Christian for a long time, I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things in my life that I haven't given to God that I need to.
yeah.
And we could all relate to that. What I'm going to say is what's really going to be proof of his life is going to be the fruit that he bears. And that's going to be the proof, is what type of fruit is he bringing forth.
Can I speak on a very, not dark, devil's advocate?
Yeah.
So you said the scripture, you mentioned the scripture that says, beware
Yeah.
of those.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
What if,
Isn't it Matthew?
I'm not quite sure where it is, but I know it's somewhere in there. What if the churches, what if the regular church that we know of today, what if those are the ones?
I was thinking the same thing. There are those.
There are those.
I mean, we can't sit up here and say that there aren't those who are currently in a church right now, and that pastor is a wolf in sheep's clothing. We see it all the time.
Yeah, it always comes out.
It always comes out later on.
For example, actually, we'll save this. Let's use the example and we'll come back to it.
Well, aren't those wasn't Jesus talking about the Pharisees and the Sadducees?
He was, and which is the teachers, right? So we'll come back to we'll bring this point back up at the end because
Okay.
I want to close with something kind of off subject.
Okay.
Kanye did a Sunday service in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay, and Jamal Bryant's
I already
church.
know what you're gonna
Jamal Bryant's church.
And a lot of people don't know this.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this. So he did a service at Jamal Bryant's church in Atlanta. The church, it used to be Eddie Long's church before he passed.
New birth.
New Birth, yes.
Yeah.
So he went there to do his Sunday service. And Atlanta has got a lot of his friends are in Atlanta.
Who's
Kanye.
Kanye's friends
Gotcha.
who are in the industry. So to support him, they came to New Birth that Sunday. Jamal Bryant did an offering, spoke for a few minutes, and walked off stage. Another pastor, which is actually a really famous black pastor, gets on stage before Kanye and preaches for 1 hour about giving. Because he was enticing, they already had an offering. He's enticing them to give more. Because he knows right there in the front row is 2 Chainz and T.I. and a bunch of other rappers. And he did the old school, after the offering was already taken, he did the whole school, bring the bucket up. I believe there's people in here that can give 50,000. I believe there's people that give 100,000 and all this other stuff. There's actually rappers that got up to go put money in the bucket. And in front of everybody, T.I. stood up and told them, sit your back down.
Not at the church.
he did. He said, sit your ASS back down. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard that, I was like, that's crazy. Kanye's coming to just worship God. The hip hop scene is coming to worship God with Kanye. T.I. is coming to worship God with Kanye. 2 Chainz is coming to worship God with Kanye. And what did we do? We took up 2 offerings. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
So why didn't the senior pastor get up and stop all of that?
But see, this was in the beginning of when he started incorporating.
this
Preaching.
this was a couple months ago.
No, yeah.
This is recent.
But he didn't start incorporating preaching until 2 months ago.
Right, but see, Jamal Bryant, and I love Jamal Bryant except for one personal flaw I have. He does not stand up. He does not speak against anything. Like, and I'm not talking about speaking against Trump or speaking against this. I'm talking about he doesn't speak when something blatantly wrong is going on.
Nobody was there to correct it.
He doesn't. And he's the one that should.
Yeah.
And all he did was apologize to T.I. after the fact.
Right.
But he should have walked up on stage and stopped.
And see, that's my problem is I don't want the the Pharisees and Sadducees of Christianity to take Kanye West and exploit him, and then exploit the people.
But that's what they did that day.
That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's what they did that day.
And I think the hip hop community is gonna be who they are.
Yeah.
My concern is these Christiany people.
That's
That's like my biggest concern, because we're so quick to call him out and be like, well, now you guys wanna praise Kanye because he's talking about Jesus is king. I'm like, what about you?
right.
Like, you've been through nothing. Just because your stuff is in public means what? You're perfect.
Yeah, Kanye's no different than us.
He
just got a lot of money.
The most respect. Him talking about his porn addiction to me is powerful.
I didn't. That was on the Apple one, right? Because that wasn't on Big
that was
Boy.
an Apple one.
Okay.
See another correlation with him and Kirk.
It's powerful. See, I can't.
Try to be serious with this dude.
But I mean, I can't. But
It's facts.
It is.
But him talking about his porn addiction, him talking about his transformation, how his dad having a magazine carelessly, him at 5 years old, has dictated though every aspect
lyric
of his life.
He even said that in the Big Boy. He did say that. He said his dad's porno magazine was the source from every lyric that he wrote.
And how he's saying, I used to say FBs and I can't say that anymore.
Right. Or when he also made a statement in an interview where he said, no one corrected me when I said Life of Pablo is a Christian album. Everybody said, yeah. And he said, you listen to the album? That album's not a Christian album.
It's far from
When
it.
did he say The Life of Pablo was a Christian album?
He's always said that. He always said Life of Pablo was a Christian album. And he said, I'm telling
But him maybe from a perspective
at
of
that
he's
perspective
God.
that he was at. But he even said, I was telling people that Life of Pablo was a Christian album. He said that on the Big Boy interview. And he goes, and on the cover, there's a woman wearing a thong. And he's like, so clearly it wasn't. So it's like he's going through the journey. And I think what people seem to forget is that walking with Christ is a true journey. You're not going to get there overnight. And I guarantee you, all the people who were talking about him, they didn't get there overnight. And I will venture to say that they're not there yet.
Right.
That's because the Christian journey or the walk with God is a daily thing. You have to renew your mind on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Because you have to renew your mind constantly, because every thought that comes into your mind dictates your actions.
Yeah.
So in a lot of aspects, I'm not saying every thought, but we have to constantly self-regulate
Yeah.
our own selves. And we some of us have grown up in church. I have not, but I've been a Christian for a long time.
Yeah. And you know, the scripture tells us that you need to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, right? So people should not be in a place to judge what Kanye is doing. Now, let me ask you all this. Do you think this is marketing? Do you think this is a ploy, or do you think this is real?
It could be.
I think the interviews and things of that nature is for marketing purposes for
Jesus
the
is
album.
king. Yes.
But I think he has a true transformation that he's currently going through. Just listening to the guy. Even if you're a Christian artist, you got to market your stuff.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. He is not. You could tell by the things that he's saying that he is not controlled by anything. Why? He's coming against the culture. He's coming against the system. He's coming against every single thing that has controlled his life and that controls our life. He's coming against social media. Like, everything he's talking about is against our systematic world we live in, which God says belongs to the enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God told us already that we are not of this world, right?
Yeah.
And everything in this world isn't, for the most part, is not of God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so the thing that he talked about, the swiping,
That was interesting.
that was deep.
Yeah.
What did he say? Remind me.
What
Like,
he's talking
exactly. I can't remember exactly what he said.
He said the action of swiping in women sets off
Scientifically
proven sets off a sense of dopamine in the woman.
That's what it was.
That just swiping. And notice that all these things women swipe. They shop swiping. They Tinder. they go through Instagram, they swipe. This action right here sets off dopamine, and so it wasn't like, oh, just put it here and that comes.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, it makes it easy for him. Said no, it was strategically placed there.
And another thing that I like what he's talking about, what he's doing is he's empowering people to be their own boss.
He needs to read my book, Hidden Agenda. I know that's my plug, but I will say the first half of the Big Boy interview, I was listening to it in the car, and I kept screaming because I was like, I've been saying that. I've been saying, like, everything he says. I'm like, man, I think like Kanye. I felt good for a second. I don't act like Kanye.
Well, in your terms, it's, what is it? Sit in the chair. What is it?
Oh, get a chair.
Get a chair.
Get a chair.
Get a chair. Yeah.
And that was a good point when he brought up about how we're not trained to own the basketball team. We're not trained to do anything. We're trained to follow. We're trained to do this. But until we get into that position, I get a chair. And then when he even made up a point that I always say was when he talked about I shouldn't have to not vote for Trump because I'm black.
Right.
When he says the Democrats have plugged in the black person's mind that, oh, you vote for Trump? You shouldn't vote for Trump. A black person wouldn't vote for Trump. That's more racist than calling him the N-word. And I was like, it's powerful. I said that. But
see, what he's saying, and this is what I see a lot in the communities that I'm a part of, and I'm going to even say this about the Christian community, is by nature, we are very tribal people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's a mob mentality. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, well, I'm a Republican because I'm a Republican, or I'm a Democrat because I'm a Democrat. I support black-owned businesses. I support Latino businesses. I support white businesses because that's how I identify. So I'm going to support that. Mm-hmm. But when you become a free thinker, and you become free from identifying with what you are told you're supposed to identify with, you have a Kanye West.
Yeah.
Who is more dangerous to the agenda and the system in itself. Yep. And I could guarantee you that most of the people that don't like what he's doing, that are Christians, are people that had an issue with him saying, African American people that had an issue with him saying that slavery was a choice.
Yeah.
I wish I could do a scientific poll just to see.
Oh, I can guarantee you'll see it. Even in the interview with Big Boy. And I love Big Boy. I love him.
I love Big Boy, but Big Boy was a horrible interview.
Well, he was uncomfortable. He was uncomfortable during the whole interview.
Yeah.
Because he didn't agree with a lot of stuff that Kanye was saying.
Like, with what? That's what I would have liked to know.
I would like to know, too. Because he said, I don't agree with that. We're going to agree to disagree. And I'm like, okay. I wanted him to dig into that. I was like,
why he disagreed?
Yeah, let's go into that. Because I want to hear more. And I wanted to hear Big Boy's perspective.
Probably didn't want that interview to turn into what Sway did.
Right.
But you know what? But
Sway's interview was so much better to me. Okay, wait, which one are we talking about?
Sway?
How, Sway? How?
Oh.
That one.
I was talking, wait, was that Sway at his house, though?
No. That was his radio show.
But, okay.
This was a long time ago.
Okay, but didn't Sway go to his house later?
I don't know. I didn't see it. This was pre-convert Kanye, though.
Okay, there was a convert Kanye. I think that was Sway, too, where Sway went to his house in Calabasas.
I'm going to have to watch that.
It was like a 2-hour one.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it was great. And this is before they started. Well, no, after the first Sunday service. But, yeah, Big Boy, I would like to have seen more of that because.
But see, you know why Big Boy didn't do that?
Because he's trying to do it for the music.
Not just that, because Big Boy, I honestly feel that there's so much of what Kanye West is saying that is going over the head. Because so many people in that industry are so brainwashed by the industry that they're in that they don't understand that you don't own nothing.
No.
And you know what? For some people, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But true freedom is when you have the ability to do what you want, wake up when you want.
Yep.
Spend time how you want.
Yeah. Spend your money the way you want.
Spend your money the way you want. That is true freedom.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to take this moment to plug my new book, The Hidden Agenda, on Amazon, because this book is what we're talking about. It actually talks about the tribal mindset, mentality. Even Christianity in itself, and I think that's why a lot of Christians are attacking Kanye because of that same mentality, that tribal mentality. You ain't like us. You don't think like us. And it's weird how Christians want to pull up stuff that he's done in the past to tell us or tell the most of the people, well, we'll see. We'll see.
But see,
like they don't have a past.
But I also don't want Kanye West to be our mascot either.
He's not my mascot.
But what I'm saying is I don't want them to turn him into that because every idol has to fall.
Yeah.
And Kanye don't need to be worshipped.
No.
Jesus does.
Yeah.
And he kind of said that in his interview.
But that's my point is I don't want him to be the focus of the Christian movement because it's not him.
Yeah.
It's God. It's Christ. Mm-hmm. And that's who we need to focus on. And the same goes for your pastor. The same goes for Joel Osteen. The same goes for every big pastor in the Christian community. Mm-hmm. We tend to put people on pedestals that they don't need to be on.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't need to put Kanye on one.
No.
But he's doing a great thing.
Yes.
I think he's doing a great thing.
He's revolutionizing the music industry by making it quote unquote okay to be a mega celebrity, because that's really what he is. Mm-hmm. And saying what you want.
Yeah. And love God. Because that was always because remember he on his first album, College
Jesus
Dropout.
Walks?
Yeah, Jesus Walks. He said you could rap about anything except for Jesus. He actually has that line in Jesus Walks. So it's good to hear that transition from that to having a whole album that's not like Life of Pablo. By the way, Life of Pablo was a great album, but but still, and have Jesus is King, which is great. So let's talk about the album.
It's great.
Great.
I mean, there's a lot of songs that I like, and every single track on his album is God-centered.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, whoa.
It is.
I think someone should make a movie or do a play just with his songs.
Now that's interesting.
Because if you listen to him, it plays out kind of like that. It has a lot of dramatic, instrumentals in there. You got the choir in the background for a lot of the songs. Then you got the hip hop stuff. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I think that'll be dope. I don't know if he already did it because I know he had a movie introducing it. So
there's a couple of tracks on there that I felt connected to God.
Okay.
That I was like, okay, like I like this.
Which one, the Chick-fil-A one?
No, the first one. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Power Goes Up or something like that.
I gotta look now. But you know, if you talking about Christ, what else can I say?
Okay, so
that's my tribe.
Okay, so here's my take on Jesus is King. I listened to the album 2 times, and then I listened to it as we left our meeting place, Chick-fil-A, to come here. I will say, it's not, to me, it's not the best hip hop album. It's a great gospel album.
Do you think he was going for a hip hop vibe? Or was he going for more of a music vibe?
I think he was more of a music vibe.
Because gospel's changed.
Gospel's changed. But when Big Boy asked him, is this a rap album? And he ecstatically said, yes.
It kind of is. He raps a lot on there.
He made a statement that kind of dictates the album to me when he said, there's not much you can rap about because we've been trained that all we talk about is, he said, you can't build a marriage off of rap. Remember he made that statement? Mm-hmm. He said, you can't build a marriage off of rap. So he's still kind of in the mindset of when you rap, this is what we rap about. And we don't really rap about everything else, which is fine. I think that there's another album that he'll make where he really gets into like the conversion, his life, moving forward, what's that look like, his encounter with God, and that will be a great rap album.
But
this was a surfacey rap album.
But then is Drake's albums rap?
Huh?
There's a lot of tracks on Drake's album that are not really rappy.
He's the king of R&B rap.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
Okay, so it's not a real hip hop.
I'm not saying
album.
no. I'm not saying that Kanye's album is not a real hip hop album. I'm saying it's not a great hip hop album. It's a great gospel record, but hip hop wise, like nothing stood out except I think it was the last song that me and you talked about. I was like, man, I was waiting for like 3 minutes for a drum to kick in.
A beat drop.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's about this sound that he got going on right now. This is awesome. When that beat dropped, it's gonna be something. And I sat there for 3 minutes.
And it never dropped.
Never dropped. And I was like, dang it. I feel like he was in a very not surfacey place, but I think there's Kanye's never scared. Right?
There's going to be an evolution to his
think-
music right now.
Yeah, I just think he has a lot of growing to do in the faith.
in the faith.
Because a lot of it was what he's been experiencing for the past year and a half to 2 years from his conversion.
Yeah,
So he hasn't really went through the trials and tribulations.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, his stuff is a little different than the average person. He's going to get critics saying this and that.
yeah.
But when your wife starts tripping on you, when Kim's like, look, you met me like this.
Yeah.
And now you want me to change how I'm dressing all of a sudden?
I can guarantee you the only reason he sought after Kim was because of his porn addiction.
Yeah.
She sufficed.
He probably was looking at that Ray J.
You know, I mean,
Come on.
okay. Well, Kim is gorgeous. Kim is drop dead.
But she was a tangible person
Right.
that sufficed his addiction.
Right. But I think Kim may have been attracted. He may have been attracted to Kim because of his porn addiction, but I think his transformation
aspect
started.
of it,
Kim?
though.
It started with Kim because Kim's got roots. I think Kim's got roots. I think she lets
sure.
people. She's a genius in my mind. She lets people think what they want to think, but I think deep down,
I think she's a very smart woman.
I think she's intelligent. I think that a lot of his conversion came from Kim, and I think also Kanye realized why after he married Kim that there's a lot of his mom in Kim.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think a lot of his healing came from being a part of that family because that's what he lacked.
Oh yeah, family.
He lacked that family structure,
Mm-hmm.
and that family is loyal to the soil, and that's something that's been embedded in them.
Yeah,
That they talk about very often, and they're very close, and they'll have each other's back for the most part.
Yeah.
So when you're
even Lamar and Tristan.
yeah,
Yeah,
and in addition to that, having children, when you were brought up in the faith, and then maybe you strayed away, but when you have children, you start to want to embed good qualities in them because that's how you were raised.
yeah,
So children changes you too.
yeah. Children definitely change you.
Children change you and give you a different type of hope, and a different type of grind,
Yeah.
and a different type of perspective on a lot of things.
Yeah,
You know, he talks about his daughter wearing a slip dress and how, like, why the heck did I let her wear that? Why am I sexualizing my daughter?
Yeah.
Because you had a porn addiction.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And now he talks about how his daughter hates missing Sunday service.
She loves it.
She loves it. I thought that was cool. And on a side note, the idea of Kim Kardashian is now
A first lady.
a first lady.
Oh, jeez.
That's game over, right?
2024?
2024.
He's running for president. Yeezy for president.
Oh my God! It's just-
That's when I was like, there he is. There's Kanye.
Look,
I knew you would show up somewhere in here.
God hasn't gotten it all the way out of him.
no, but she's a pastor's wife. Kim Kardashian.
That's
Well, she's
hilarious.
a minister of music's wife.
It's still. She's hashtag winning. Kim Kardashian. She's winning everything.
I'm not even mad about it.
I'm not either.
I don't even care that much.
I think it's hilarious.
I think it is too.
I think it's hilarious.
But-
And people are getting her crap. Like, people are like, I don't think Kim wanted to be part of this. I'm like, dude, I think Kim is at a place in her life right now where she's done her thing. She's made her money. Anything business-wise she wants to do, she does. And now she's got
about
a family.
to be a lawyer.
Yeah, and she's got a family.
What she's about to do is she's going to make real impact.
And
What
that's
she
what
already
wants.
and what she's already done.
Well, she's already done, but now she wants to do it on a deeper level.
She wants to be legit.
Yeah. She was trying to end homelessness last year in California. Kim, you give me a call because you can end homelessness by helping the merchants. We can stay in your Calabasas house.
What I think really what it is they have an understanding that she has a brand, he has a brand, she's going to support him, he's going to support her.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just curious to see how this is going to all play out in their marriage.
But how is her brand going to correlate with his brand?
But her brand is her brand. Like, I just don't foresee her changing a lot about what she does because of him until she is on board like him.
I think she is.
I don't.
I think she's totally on board.
To a certain extent.
I don't think she's ever going to be like, because the talents that it takes to do the Sunday service the way Kanye has it, she doesn't have that. No, she doesn't have that. So I don't think that she's
not converted though.
I believe she was a Christian before Kanye.
Okay, we're using Christian very loosely.
Yeah. Okay, but
Because
she was a believer before Kanye.
Well, okay, she has a foundation just like Kanye, but my point is the process that he's gone through, she hasn't gone through that yet. She hasn't.
Maritime.
She hasn't.
Maritime. She'll be the next Lisa Bavaria.
I mean, look, it is what it is.
If she becomes the next Lisa Bavaria,
the Bible says that if she is or she isn't, I don't know. They're sanctified because of him already.
Yeah.
Because they are one.
She's good. I think she's gonna be strong. When she comes out of that, it's gonna be great.
I wonder, is she gonna stop getting butt injections?
I hope not. This is a personal opinion.
I hope so.
Don't change, Kim.
Her butt looks like a diaper.
Jeez.
Like a freaking diaper full of sand.
Hate much lately?
I'm not hating. I'm being legitimately
a diaper
honest.
Full of sand.
Her butt looks like a diaper. But I mean, do you, Kim? I guess.
Okay. So, final thoughts about Kanye West.
I'm vigilant still.
Still vigilant.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be like, but I'm vigilant about a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I'm vigilant about every church I go to.
Yeah.
I am vigilant about everybody that talks God. Mm-hmm. That's how I am. So if I feel it, I feel it. If I don't, I don't. Like, that's really where I'm at.
Do you think that if let's say Kanye did something off kilter again, which knowing Kanye, he probably will.
I'm going to forgive him.
Okay.
Because we're all human beings. Like, unless he goes and says, "I serve Satan," like, there's not much that he could say.
Well, he did say it in one of his raps.
But he said that.
Yeah. He's confessed to everything he's done. He's talked about, he kind of glanced over it, but he glanced over walking up and taking Taylor Swift's moment. He glanced over saying George Bush.
He said, "I'm tired of apologizing.
I'm
not apologizing."
He didn't care about black people. Let's get that out there.
But he got in front of everything. He got in front of the TMZ. You know what I'm saying? He even made a joke about it. He was like, "Yeah, he let me get up there and they let me say it." And I was like, "Okay." No one checked him. You know what I'm saying? Now he's got a foundation of people that's interesting because now his dad's back in his life. Never been in his life before. He talked about going through the process of forgiving his dad. So that's huge.
He talked about being upset because his dad didn't know any of his raps.
Yeah. His dad didn't know any of his raps.
But you know what? That's legit though. Mm-hmm. Because maybe a lot of his issues with God had a lot to do with his father.
Oh yeah.
I mean, 100%. I don't know.
Abandonment can do a lot of things for people.
Yeah, like I don't know everything about his conversion, but you could definitely see there's an aspect of Kanye that longs for that maternal, paternal person in their life. Because I feel like, and maybe this is off topic, I feel like a lot of Jay-Z was that.
A father figure?
Yeah.
I
feel like he was maybe that balance to Kanye in a lot of ways, and that's why they had such a good relationship back in the day, because that's who Jay-Z was to Kanye West.
Yeah.
Even though
Jay-Z was like that to a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that's what Kim is to Kanye though. Mm-hmm. Because she's very composed, and he's like almost manic in a way.
They're a good team.
Bipolar.
Yeah. I mean, he's a little manic, but we'll see.
What's your final thoughts, Ivy?
I told you. This might be too soon. I'm telling you, modern day Saul to Paul. Someone that could go to the masses and relate and still move.
I have another theology thought, another scripture I thought of when I think about Kanye. I think about the prodigal son and how he came home and the father greeted him, brought him in, and threw a party for him. The part that I want to respond to, though, is the brother's thoughts.
Like, how
you gonna give him this robe? How you gonna give him this party? How you gonna do all this and celebrate him?
Those are the Christians.
I've been here this whole time, and no one celebrates me. And I just want to. And watching and listening to Christians talk about Kanye and seeing Kanye's conversion makes me think of the prodigal son. We should be celebrating, whether it's a celebrity or just any individual that comes home.
Any individual.
Any individual that comes home, we should be celebrating that they found their way back to Christ. Who cares what they've gone through? They found their way back to Christ. And I'm going to tell those people who are listening to this, if they've even finished the whole episode, because by this time they would cut us off. If they heard the whole thing, I want to challenge you and tell you that, look, I'm going to tell you the same thing that the father told the prodigal son, told his brother. He said, dude, you've been here this whole time. You could have been at a party. Everything in the father's house is yours. So you can have the same kind of blessings and the same kind of experience with God that Kanye's having now. Even more so. If you stop trying to think about everybody else and focus on your relationship with God. Because honestly, Kanye even kept saying during the interview, it's all about God. Jesus is Lord. It's not about me. It's about God.
Well, he said in the interview that some Christians were telling Jesus is king is too forward.
Yeah.
Like, what Christian is that?
Yeah, who you got in your back pocket?
Who's saying that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that blew my mind.
Yeah. Album's not a rap album to me, though. It's a great gospel album.
And you know what? I'm going to be real. I don't care.
I don't care either.
I don't care what kind of album it is.
I'm just, my review of the album is just not a hip hop album.
But
his next one is going to be fire.
So what would you give it?
The album?
Yeah, out of 5 stars.
I'll give it 4.
That's a high rating.
Yeah, it's a great album. Great gospel album. It's just not it's not a hip hop album.
You just don't like the categorization of it being hip hop.
Yeah. And on the hip hop, and then the times that he does rap, I think the raps are kind of like, it sounds like, okay, I get a lot of demos from people who are just trying to get into rap, and they're doing Christian rap, and that's what his wordplay sounds like.
Not to me.
You crazy with that
Not
one.
to me.
Someone just now getting into hip hop?
Nah.
What it sounds like is a guy who's just now trying to do Christian
That's
rap.
what I'm saying. Like,
But his flow is still fire.
his flow is fire because he's Kanye. But
Yeah.
the only I'm in the wordplay, and the only time I really was fired on his wordplay was in oh god,
That's never been Kanye, though.
yes, it has.
I feel like this album is very Kanye. A lot of loops, a lot of samples,
That
a lot
stuff
of
is
a lot of
Kanye.
musicality to it.
That's Kanye, but he also has wordplay.
I mean, but he's not I don't know Kanye as
He's
being
not like
a
the
wordsmith.
lyricist. He's not.
But that's never been him.
But he's always been good with his words. Yeah. He's
But-
always been good with his words.
But he has a couple of lines on there. I'm like, that was clever.
Yeah, no, he still has that. Like, he had one about the Christians. All the Christians. I can't remember. I can't finish it, but that was cool. And then the last one, that's why I was like, ooh, when this beat dropped, this is going to be one of the hardest. And it never dropped. But my favorite, it's now on my list of best, well, it could be on my list of best gospel albums.
In comparison, who is your favorite of all time hip hop Christian album?
He's like myself.
And you can't
Ramon.
I can't be me.
include yourself. No.
I can't include myself. Oh,
That's funny.
there's an album that I listen to all the time. It's Christian.
I have a
hip-hop.
favorite one.
Let me think. Gosh, there's so many good ones.
I know what yours is, Carla.
What?
KB.
I think KB is my favorite because I feel like KB
Mm-hmm.
is a lot like Kanye in the sense of his musicality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like a lot of KB's music is very musically inclined, so it touches different parts of your senses when you're listening to his music.
Okay.
And I think he's a really good rapper. But I mean, I really like KB. I think Gravity and Church Clothes is some of the best Christian hip hop albums I've ever heard.
I can't put Lecrae in best Christian hip hop.
I
album,
can, 'cause those albums
I just got
were fire.
Personal beef with him.
Well,
but
stop.
I will
Stop
say,
it.
I will say,
Personal.
I just don't.
You need to stop. Is what you need to do.
I'm still on my journey, Carla.
Okay.
Best Christian hip hop album, I would have to go with, and I love Ruslan, I love Belief, but they haven't sold me on the best albums yet. Those are my best artists today, but I have to give it to Mineo and the Superheroes for Sale. That one is probably one of my favorite ones. Like, I think I know every song on that album.
What album was on there? What song was on there?
The one he does have a Lecrae song that goes uno say. Got it?
Oh, that's a good one.
Say.
Is that Panini on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I do like that album.
Yeah. And then So that's probably one of my favorite Christian hip hop albums. and I'm into and right now I'm still into a lot of independent artists. So that was hard to say.
Would Kanye be considered independent?
Right now, I would say yes. Oh yeah, 100% right now.
Here's what I'm gonna say though.
What are they saying online?
I just realized there was comments. I'm sorry. Dang it, what was I gonna say?
Let me look at these comments.
I don't even know. I do want to say something to your point about the prodigal son in the Christian church.
Okay.
And this is my issue. Is when we talk about what about me, God? Do we serve God because we want to be blessed? Or do we serve God because we love him?
You're going to open a whole nother can of worms.
Well, that's fine.
Because Christianity today, to me, Christianity has become so self-serving.
That's my issue, though.
Yeah, it's a big issue.
And that's why people have so many problems with this, is because it's like, why do you care?
Right.
Why do you care?
And why aren't you celebrating it?
Why do you, and I honestly, that's back to my point. I honestly feel like a lot of people have an issue with his treatment of the black community.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And if you have an issue with Kanye, go listen to his interview so you can really hear his heart.
And I don't even think he got it there. I don't think he got his heart across there. When it comes, look, we're talking about two totally different aspects of Kanye. When we talk about his relationship with the black community, it's going to take a very long time before that's healed, right? There's people in the black community who are just, I'm done with Kanye, period.
And it's understandable because he made a blanket statement that he did not expand on.
Right. And so now they're offended. So that's just that.
But that's how you know it's the devil, because the first thing to come and divide is offense. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing.
As a black man, a lot of people in the black community are very sensitive to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just like this whole thing with black pumpkins. You guys hear about that?
Yes.
Black pumpkin.
They made Bed Bath & Beyond.
They made Bed Bath & Beyond take the black jack-o'-lanterns off the shelf because they said it reminded them of blackface.
But you know why?
Get out of here.
But you know why? Not because because it was black, but because the outlines of the eyes and the mouth were white.
That's how else would you show it if it's a fake pumpkin?
Orange?
Bruh.
Get out of here.
Sound effect. Bruh.
Get out of here. I read that. I was like, what black person is saying this jack-o'-lantern reminds them of blackface?
No, let's take it a step further. What black person is in Bath and Beyond?
A lot of people.
Time out now. Now you're crossing the line, buddy.
Ivy, me and you go there. Everybody go there. Look, I got the app, so I go there too. I shop using the app.
Listen, they got great towels.
Oh, they got great smelling stuff.
I don't even care. The point is when you are offended by what somebody says,
yes,
you immediately stop
Yep.
being open to whatever that other person says.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that could be true for your relationship with God too. There might be a lot of things in the Bible that you are offended by.
Yep.
A lot of things.
I agree.
A lot of people don't think that there's a lot of people that I'm realizing that don't agree with most of anything that Paul has to say, so they didn't even read that part of the Bible.
Because of one little statement he may have said about like women.
Mainly.
Yeah.
Mainly.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a lot of theologians expand on that it wasn't necessarily a Christian thing, but more of a cultural thing. Mm. And nobody's negating that maybe in a certain context that might have not been right. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of things in those days and in that culture that were not right towards women. Mm-hmm. Stoning women.
Trading them off. Trading off
having
lives.
Concubines. There's and that's what people have issues with, and that's why they can't connect with God, because of a lot of those things.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, in this day and age, in our culture, that's frowned upon. Yeah. I'm talking about the concubines. But you go to Nigeria, it's normal.
You go to Qatar, it's normal.
It's normal.
I don't even want to go where I'm about to go.
Yes, Carla, I researched this. Where can you have multiple rights? Qatar.
It's normal.
I understand.
You go to Utah. Normal.
Shut up. That's
normal.
Where are people on Facebook?
I'm just saying that's more of a cultural thing.
Any interesting comment? I see Kevin's. There's a long conversation.
I mean, it's really, they're just saying go Kanye. They're just commenting. I don't know who else is listening.
So there's a lot of support for Kanye.
Look,
there's a lot of people who said his album was trash, too.
I think because they're probably listening from a hip hop perspective.
I mean,
If you're looking for Dropout or Yeezus,
there's a lot of people that
808 and Heartbreaks, or even Pablo.
or even dark fantasy,
Right,
you're not gonna.
well,
get
there's
it.
a lot of people that feel like
Not
Dark
it.
Fantasy is his best work, and it wasn't my favorite.
It's not my favorite.
Nah,
Favorite Kanye album outside of Jesus is Lord.
Pablo.
I don't have one.
Pablo?
Yeah, but that Pablo
Pablo was
album
great.
hot.
I think Pablo would be second for me. Third.
Pablo album was hot.
I think-
I never really liked Kanye's other stuff. He was too gimmicky to me.
I like Graduation's
I
Party.
like certain songs from the album, but overall, I like more songs off of Pablo
Okay.
than off of anything.
Then I
else.
would probably have to say Pablo too. Because Graduation was probably one of my favorite albums, and then College Dropout's pretty cool too.
Look, ultimately, I feel like the rise of what Kanye West is doing, and just in a lot of other things, it's going to cause a revolution. As far as I think, this is like a modern day revival of the church,
Yeah.
and like to Ivy's point, the rocks will cry out.
Yeah.
God is like, okay, and you know, maybe this was God's plan. Like maybe when he almost died in that car accident, that was God's intended purpose for him, maybe. But he just went astray for whatever reason, and now he's coming back.
Yeah. If you look in the Old Testament, you think about it, Joseph's dream, right? Joseph's dream, when he had the dream about the stars and all that other stuff, he could never have seen that dream if he wasn't
Right.
under Pharaoh.
Correct.
And then when he became under Pharaoh, bringing his brothers and this dream coming to fruition, put the children of Israel under Egypt
That's
rule.
right.
So God gave him a dream to ultimately put the children of Israel under Egypt rule, to only later tear down Egypt so he could be God.
Right. That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
And not just that, but how many people in the Bible were not qualified to be in the positions that they were in?
Everybody. God had to choose a killer because no one in the church was qualified to do it.
Who you talking about?
Saul.
Oh yeah, he was a killer.
Yeah. He killed a killer. I'm kidding. He picked
Didn't you say something like back in the day? Never mind, I'm not gonna bring this up. I'll talk to you off the air
Oh man, this is gonna
Why?
be interesting.
about Paul.
Just say it.
No,
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
off the air.
Off the air.
Off
We'll
the
definitely
air?
talk about this off the air. They're not ready for that.
Nah, they
They're
ain't
ready for that conversation.
They ain't ready.
That's a deep
We got to make
conversation.
that one a little bit more structured.
Yeah. We tried that in the second episode.
we
on
did.
our own. We ain't gonna go there.
I'm just excited to see what's to come. And I don't put that much faith in Kanye to where I'll be disappointed because I don't worship him.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be disappointed either, but he's just the gift that keeps on giving.
But
For
I'm
me.
going to pray for him, though.
I'm just waiting for him to drop that album with his choir singing,
That was hot.
because that's gonna be a banger.
Yeah. And then he could rap on that.
I don't even care.
I-
I just want people. I just want people's lives to be changed. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if God is going to use him, then praise the Lord.
absolutely. But when he did what he did with Fred Hammond,
That was a good
didn't
one.
it sound like Commission?
Yeah, it did.
I was like, is this?
I kept looking at my phone and said, is that just Fred? Because it sounded like
this
Commission.
sounds hot.
Yeah. The
was
last
good.
the last three were really
Like,
good.
wait a minute.
So yes. So if you haven't listened to it, I encourage you to go listen to it. Jesus
Absolutely.
King. It's on Tidal.
You can listen to it with your family, with your
Yeah.
kids.
You can play
No-
it loud.
no
bang it out,
profanity.
profanity.
Yep.
I will say this. This got me excited for Chance's album
Why?
because Chance is going the same route.
Oh, Chance is going Christian?
Yeah, Chance is going no cursing, no perversion.
That's not Christian.
I mean, but if he's saying he's Christian,
Right.
so we'll see. He's been at a couple of the services.
He's just going to go more of a positive.
He went
Right.
to Africa to read the whole Bible to get a true understanding
Look,
of it.
I'm not going to judge him until I hear his music. Like I can't even comment on it because I'm sure there's a lot of Christian rappers that are not perfect.
And I don't even like Chance. I think he's trash.
I didn't like acid rap, but I like Coloring Book.
I don't even like his voice is annoying.
Talk to my nachos. Talking to my nachos. All right, we're done. It's been an hour. Listen, if you like this episode, subscribe on your iTunes. Subscribe.
YouTube?
YouTube. Subscribe to the Heritage Park channel. We will be here doing more. But share it, man. Click the 3 buttons on the top right-hand corner on your iTunes and share this sucker out.
And just because this live is done, don't think that the conversation is done.
No, you can
Just
always talk to us.
Always
what
talk
did
to
Kirk
us.
say? It ain't over.
It ain't over. You can also, follow us on Epic Thoughts, on our Epic Thoughts page on Facebook. Carla, where can they find you?
Carla Finlayson.
Ivy, where do they find you at?
V.Layson.
That's
that
on
on the
IG.
gram?
That's the Grizzam.
Yes, and you can find me at Ramon.com. Also, buy the Hidden Agenda book. You'll get a lot of what we're talking about by writing that book. Go to Amazon and type in Ramon Merchant, Hidden Agenda, or go to Ramon.com.
This was fun.
It was fun.
I'm glad to be doing this again.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
back.
We're back, yo!
And I like
Wah, wah, wah.
I like that Kanye's album hit just in time for us to do this.
Yes.
Because it was like, it's still fresh.
It's still fresh.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, and comment and review the show. And thank you everyone on YouTube, and thank you everybody on Facebook. We'll talk to you later.
Go Lakers.
Bye.
Go Clippers!
Go Lakers.
Clippers!